I just wanted to thank you guys all for coming. We're here to talk about the pool. We want to thank you for attending tonight. We got a full room, which is really awesome to see. The owl is gonna hoot through this whole thing, maybe. There's no bird in here. Our little owl camera system is the one that you can hear throughout the evening. We're here today to discuss with all of you who we believe to be stakeholders in our new aquatic center project. We're committed to raising a portion of the funds for this project, and we're looking to all of you for insights and your perspectives. Michelle is here, and the Potato team are incredibly knowledgeable and experienced, and we're excited to see how they can help us in accomplishing our goals as the shovels are going to go into the ground very soon. So we're here to talk about all of that, to get your experiences, to get your ideas, and hopefully have some great dialogue and conversation about this new project and where it's headed. I do want to do a land acknowledgement quickly, and then I'll pass it on to Michelle and Kara, and they're going to give us some background information, and then we can start with our evening. The city of Flin Flon acknowledges and respects that we are gathering on lands in Treaty 5 territory, the traditional ancestral lands of many Indigenous people, who prior to contact with Europeans established and maintained important trade routes, connected with and lived off the land, and thrived in a culture that was celebrated through language, ceremony, tradition, and a sustainable livelihood. We wish to express our commitment to working in collaboration and partnership that encompasses equity, justice, truth, and reconciliation. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Kara, I am one of the fundraising committee members, long-suffering committee members. No, it's been lots of fun, but it has been a long time. So I asked Corey today, can you look, how long have we been doing this? Look in our notes, and it was 2016, February 2016, that we've been fundraising for the pool since before we lost the pool, and now here we are, you know, years after losing the pool, and we're still at it and still committed and really just want to get it done. And so we're really excited to have several of our committee members here and just all of you new faces at the table. It's wonderful to see you here to support the pool, and we're really excited to get moving forward again with things again and still and just ongoing, right? Because we've been working on these fundraisers for a long time. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Kara. Hi, everybody. So I'm the one who's not known to everybody. I'm Michelle Stanners, and I was so excited when Kate reached out to Vitreo. That's Vitreo, if you say it fast, it's on.
I will feel better.
Vitreo. And we're a full service agency in Calgary that helps not-for-profits in all manners of fund development, strategic planning, full service. So I was personally excited when I saw a message from the city of Flin Flon, and because I'm from Winnipeg, and we have a cottage on Lake Manitoba, which is where I was today. So I certainly understand the land of 100,000 lakes. I felt very welcome today. Kate picked me up. I went to the museum, and I'm old enough to remember some of that stuff, which and the two students at the door couldn't believe it. But and then we went to visit the hockey arena. And I was very disappointed that I did not meet Bobby Clark again, because when I was 14 years old, that's going to date me right now, Team Canada played Russia. And I went to get all the autographs in Winnipeg. And I showed up at the hotel where they were all staying. And I was so nervous when I met Stan Nikita, my absolute favorite hockey player. And there were all kinds of cameras there because, you know, they were taking B-roll. And I said, I'm so thrilled to meet you. I'm a huge fan of the Chicago Maple Leafs. And I really wanted the floor to just open up. Like, everybody did that. Isn't she cute? Anyway, it was awful. But I have all their autographs. So anyway, it's been fun to meet him. So thank you.
I had to tell her that he was here. He was at the rink yesterday for hockey school.
So I'm gonna go and Kate, I'm gonna leave.
In the store today, too.
Oh, you said started. He's around.
And regularly check the hotel. I'm at the hotel, and by the way, great food from the hotel. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna today, so when I told our team that we were gonna be working with the city of Flin Flon, who were gonna raise money from the community for a city project, like, they were going like, who does that? But, you know, Airdrie, we got a guy who's from Airdrie, says, we should do that. And I said, well, I get it, I'm a Manitoban, you know, but Flin Flon, you're unique in this. And it's clear that the community really values this project. And that you're all here is fantastic. One thing we've learned in our work is the community knows best. So when we were asked to help and assist and engaged to create two things, a case for support and a campaign plan, we discussed it with the steering committee. Steering committee, hands up, please. You're on the steering committee. You're Heather, on the steering committee, and others. And we decided that we usually do interviews. We would have interviewed each one of you individually and scheduled, but this is a lot more fun because we're all going to hear from each other, and you'll see how we're going to break this up. We want to be done by 8 or 8:30 at the latest. Okay, so that means we're going to be on the clock, and I'll have the fun task of keeping people on the clock, but that's okay. I'm used to that. So we're going to take some time to introduce ourselves. And if you read the email, you have all brought an object from home. And if you didn't, you're going to find one real quick in your pocket or your purse that represents basically, that would represent for you the meaning of this pool, this community, the impact of this pool to the community. By the way, we are recording everything. You can fake it. If you didn't bring something, you can think of something and say, oh, you know what? I was going to bring the thing, but I forgot it, and here it is. So that's okay too. Happens. So we're going to spend some time in breakout groups. We're going to do 3 breakout groups. We're going to spend some time talking about the case for support, and we're going to spend some time talking about some fundraising opportunities. Okay, so that's what our evening together is going to look like. Thank you for the fabulous food, by the way. Excellent that we get to eat. That is our itinerary format. I'm going to quickly introduce 2 women who are joining us today. They're on my team and they're awesome. And I'm going to start with Pat. Pat, hey everybody. We're in Calgary usually. Can you say hi? No?
Can you see us now?
We can see Julie, and we could see you, but you were little. Now,
Or if they could open it.
say hello to everybody and introduce yourself briefly.
Sorry, are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Hi, I'm Pat, and as Michelle says, I'm in Calgary. And yeah, and as Michelle said, you know, doing a project like this for a city is really exciting. And I'm just hoping to learn a lot from all of you this evening to help us, you know, with our campaign plan for you. So I'm just all ears.
Thanks, Pat. Julie?
Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Can. I am the marketing lead at Betrayal. I also engage in a variety of different client projects from the marketing lens. For this project, I will be responsible for putting together the case for support. I've had the opportunity to speak with, you know, many of the members of Flin Flon thus far, and I've received such incredible passion about this project, and I'm so excited to hear from more of you today. So thank you for being here.
Great, thanks, Julie. Thanks, Pat. Also, one of the first steps is we usually ask for a kind of a data dump. from our clients. And there's so much invalid, like really good information that was provided by the team at the city. A lot of work has already been done. Even like you already have a naming policy, you've had some naming work done. We'll be doing more of that. So thank you. It's really a great client to work with. So we're going to start by introducing ourselves. And usually people, I call it, you know, your LinkedIn and kind of introduction. We're going to do it a little differently today. You're going to introduce yourself by simply telling us your name and maybe your role. And maybe you have more than one role. A lot of people have more than one role, but that's going to be very quick. And then you're going to just tell us about your object. And if we can, I'd really appreciate it if everybody could keep it to about a minute. So if you can do it in 1 minute, we're going to get around here and we're going to be ready to go to the next step. So I'll just give you a bit of an example of what I'm thinking about, because I brought an object. And when I was, so Michelle Sanders, Betrayal, Senior Counsel, and the project director for this engagement. And when I started our engagement, one of the things I hadn't realized was how important this aquatic center is to this city because of swimming lessons. And I don't know why I didn't think of that, but we have a cottage on Lake Manitoba, and I started going there when I was 4 years old, I guess. And it was really, really important that we learn how to swim. That was back in the day when you had to wait an hour after eating. Do you remember that? We still have to do that. So I brought a picture from July of 1963. And this is my dad teaching me how to swim in Lake Manitoba. And it's something I'll never forget. I don't think kids ever forget. You ever forgotten when you took your first swimming lessons? And you know, you get your bronze medal and you got a silver medal. That was Red Cross back in the day. So anyway, that's my object and that's my thing.
My name is Caitlin Bailey. For anybody that doesn't know me, I'm the recreation director for the city of Flin Flon. Previously worked here as a programmer and have been involved in the pool for as long as I can remember. My object I brought was one of my son's favorite little toys because I remember being pregnant, one of my girlfriends being pregnant, and us swimming laps at the pool, and just thinking how excited I was to be able to take him there and to teach him how to swim. So yeah, that's why it's so important to me, because I learned how to swim there, and I'm excited to carry that on with my family.
Okay, I was trying to find a picture, but I can't find it. So I'll just describe the picture. So my name is Krista Eastman. I am the president of the Flin Flon Connect Club. And the picture that I was trying to find was a picture of my son when he was about 8 years old. He was in the bathroom at the pool, and him and his buddies were like goofing around a little bit, and he fell and he chipped his tooth. So his front tooth is completely chipped. And so, but even though like he chipped it and it was traumatic and we've had to get it like fixed twice already since then, he still has the best memories of, you know, being at the pool with his buddies, and even like he doesn't even think about that. He totally chipped his tooth. That's it.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Joe Bowie, and I guess I'm here as the president of the Kinsman Club. The object I would have brought was an old pass that we had to go to the old Aqua Center, because my kids went there, and now my grandkids started going there until it was ultimately closed. And for me, it meant family activities, someplace you could go that we could all participate in. So that's a good memory for me. And they all know how to swim now, so don't worry too much.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. I am currently the recreation programmer, but previously I was the aquatic supervisor at our old Aqua Center. I did not bring, but I meant to bring some of the Life Saving Society values, because as I said before, looking at like drowning statistics at towns that do versus do not have a pool is really staggering. And it creates a sense of community, right? All these kids of the same age striving for the same goal, and it just hits a little bit different at the pool.
My name is Lindsay Schran. I'm the recreation director for the town of Creighton. I brought myself because I did work for the city of Flin Flon and I was the pool supervisor. And my first job with the city of Flin Flon was working at a pool. And it was a good environment. I worked with great people. We always had fun. And it was just a good positive experience. My daughter was a lifeguard. My other daughter was in synchro and it was just a great vibe. It was just nice to little kids there all the time.
I'm Heather Richardson. I'm a regional trainer at the Northern Health Region and I'm counselor for the city of Flin Flon. I brought a picture of my little nephew in kayak because the pool is where I learned how to canoe and kayak. And we did that through school. So that's what I brought.
My name's Alfira Coop. And I'm just a concerned citizen, I guess. I feel that, Flin Flon, we've lost so much here and it's very upsetting. And that includes the pool. I think that, we need something to keep the young people here. Yeah, I just feel sad about our town. We've lost a lot.
I'm Rella Dubay, and I was fortunate enough to work at the pool. Yeah, my sweatshirt. I was called a pool mom, and I loved working at the pool. I loved the kids. I missed them all. I missed the older people as well, because we did Aqua Fit together. I learned how to swim at the pool, because I moved here 40 years ago and I didn't know how to swim. I was terrified of the water. But thanks to wonderful lifeguards, they taught me how to swim. I was not afraid to get to the edge. So yes, we need a pool, desperate. And I'm willing to help with any way I can.
I'm Evan Bowman, just local resident, and I guess ultimately just an end user, what it'll boil down to. Grew up here, born and raised, so I did learn how to swim at the pool that we used to have, which is what I feel is one of the biggest aspects of having a pool is more the safety thing for the area. And when it comes down to what we have for recreation in our area, is a lot of it is water-based. So it's a little different from other places in the prairies in that it's more of a requirement than anything. So, and I did bring something, but I also am with my wife and we kind of piggyback on that. So
My name is Miranda Bowman. I'm also a community member, parent and principal of an elementary school. When I listen to my parents talk, about the olden days and they're in their 70s, they mention all the people that have drowned. Oh, so-and-so drowned and so-and-so drowned. And it's actually a really large amount. Like Kelsey said, and growing up, I learned to swim in the Aqua Center and I know one person who was drowned in my lifetime. And I think it's really, really important for kids to know how to swim. And I think that like learning to swim at the Aqua Center, I'm not the strongest swimmer, but you're right, I never forgot those lessons. And yeah, I think the partnership with the Flin Flon School Division and the Aqua Center of the city is so valuable.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Corey Thompson and I'm the treasurer of the finance committee, I guess we'll call it, part of our original committee that came together to try to raise individual funds for private funds, I guess, for the pool. Again, I didn't bring anything, but I was fortunate enough to be able to watch both my daughters enjoy synchronized swimming in the pool, which they very much enjoyed. And again, just to kind of echo what a lot of people have said here as well, we did look at the stats initially with the amount of drownings that do happen, especially in areas such as this. When there's no access to pool full time, and it is quite staggering. So I think it is very vital that to protect our youth and to have recreation in town, we need to focus our attention on this. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah Pelleton. I have lots of roles. Today, I feel like my role is former lifeguard. I also work for the health region as a communications coordinator. And I brought a picture of my daughter and her sports synchro team that had just like 3 months in before the pool shut down and closed. Many important things come to my mind in so many ways, and I'm a person who could like play music to stop talking, but when it comes to like, to me, a pool in a community like ours where we're situated is essential for a survival skill, right? Even to this day, when I'm at the beach, I am like lecturing or talking and teaching kids about water safety, what they should or shouldn't do. You know, there's so many important things that the pool brings a community. You bring jobs, you bring programs to youth who have access to something, and then a career out of it if they want. And these are sorts of like inclusive programs and careers where you're not sitting at a desk. You don't have to go to university. You don't even have to leave the community, right? And those are kinds of things that have economic ripples down to maybe there would be 2 or 3 less homeless people on Main Street that city council also hears about all the time. You know, when it comes to mental health during our cold winter months it's dark at 4 o'clock, 4:30 when you leave work. You could go sit at the pool, do multiple things at the pool for hours, or work at the pool. And it's bright, it's hot. You don't have to wear a snowsuit. Like the year I moved home from Calgary after school, it saved me getting to go to the pool and do these sorts of things. So like there's all sorts of rehab through the health authority, right? Like a lot of communities partner with their local health programs to help with physio. Working at the pool, I saw some people like with MS get to move again for the first time in the water. Like there are so many different ways and different audiences that just a plain body of water, even if it's not super fancy with a water slide, just a body of water in those like winter months can assist so many different. So when I see those people ranting on Facebook about it's not necessary or it's not needed, or if it's just a plain Jane rectangle, they don't want it. Like there's a lot of people who don't even realize that they could really use it.
Absolutely. Oh, there's a commercial.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cheryl Hiltz. I brought my husband Troy Hiltz with me today. I didn't bring him as my show and tell.
Such a.
Totally wrong. I brought a nickel. It reminds me of the days when my boys were little and we as family got together and we took them to the pool for nickel nights but I'm sure with inflation it's now going to be Toonie Tuesday. Again, it's very important for me, family. That's what it represents for me.
Who's gonna tell now?
I'm Troy Hiltz. I'm actually here on behalf of the Rotary. Cheryl and I are actually the co-presidents right now. So, and this was one of the projects that the Rotary felt was extremely important to look at funding. We've already made a commitment to the pool. So, for all these reasons right here. So, yeah, I didn't bring anything. Cheryl said, did you bring anything? And I said, I didn't even know, but I did have a story. I'm not gonna tell it because everybody's eating, because it was just an incident happened with our boys in the pool, so. It came up right away. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, I said, don't say that.
My name is Karen McKinnon, and I could talk for hours and hours about the pool, everyone that tells me. I really did my homework, if you want to pass these along and share. Because yeah, everything that's in there is very important. It's not my item. I have my item here. I am on the fundraising committee. I was also a city councillor for 16 years. My lifeline is swimming, anyone knows, but Kara said she started in 2016, yeah. Me, I brought this ring because myself, and you were there to witness it.
Colleen McKee and I are the only two people that have this particular ring for service with the city of Flin Flon, with the lake and the trees and the whole bit. We started in 2007. We did up a survey. We sat at the community hall and hours listened to negative, listened to positive, and lobbied for over 16 years to get the funding. Very proud. Lindsay, when we was a part of the homecoming, when we started the homecoming, remember with the funding, we raised over $100,000 in the homecoming. We said we were going to have that. That money was going towards the pool. So it's been a lot of hard work and going on 18 years now trying to get this pool. So very passionate about it. And yeah, and had to mention Colleen because she's a big part of what's happening here. So.
You done? Not gonna cry?
I'm done. Oh, shut up. I miss swimming beside George in the mornings. It always was.
And I'm George Fontaine, I'm the mayor. I'm also a retired school teacher, and my relationship to the pool would have been more with respect to training for, we took a lot of canoe trips, we took a lot of.
Agency in Calgary that.
And out to places like Camp Whitney where we were on the water with them, and having the training from the pool that was available there in canoe rescues, all that sort of thing, was a big part of what we did and a big part of what made it.
Planning, full service.
On things that people from all over the country couldn't even imagine. So it's been an honor to be able to do that, but an honor to be a Rotarian and work towards, trying to bring these things back. But also, I am the mayor, and probably a good portion of why I ran was this project. I wanted to make sure that whoever was going to be around was in favor of this and making sure that no matter what, it doesn't stop. And I know that we're here to look at fundraising, but, and people said we don't have enough money. Well, I made this statement once before and I want to make it here one more time, is that we need to fundraise. We'll do whatever we can, but this pool's going ahead, fundraising or not. And if the people have to pay for it generationally, they'll be using it generationally. They can pay for it that way if it comes down to that. But there's no turning around because we didn't do whatever, we'll do whatever we can, but whatever the results are, we're going ahead anymore. That's my position. Thank you.
Thank you. So my name is Tara and was a pool user. Kara asked me to be on the fundraising committee and I actually brought this picture and my friend sent it to me. It's from 1985 when I was swimming. I was in a Flin Flon reminder for the swim-a-thon for the Flin Flon Aqueducts. And that's what we did. And this picture here is really neat because my friend Tasha became a lifeguard in Flin Flon and now runs the Aquatic Center in Strathmore. And my other friend Angie did coach the Aqua just for a period of time. So yeah, if you want to see it, I'm wearing my nose plugs on my cap because once I got taught about nose plugs, I wore them all the time. But anyway, this is actually represents to me teamwork because we had to go around and ask our families and friends to give us money per lap, and that was going to help us go on this trip to Yorkton. And then, fast forward, I moved back to Flin Flon when I had children, and I ended up helping coaching the synchronized team, and that was huge teamwork, right? And then my kids ended up on the Aquajets. And the last weekend when we finally were able to do a meet again in Flin Flon, a competitive swim meet, was the last weekend that the pool ran because in the pictures we saw how the roof was sagging. And then it all came out. So to me, it's teamwork and it's super cool that we're all here. And I'm really glad that Kara asked me to be part of this. And I'm happy that you guys are part of this to help move it forward because I've been coming only for a year and a bit and I don't like meetings to begin with, and meetings that are really feeling like they're moving in a big way make me not go. But this is exciting. I'm really glad that you guys are here and in your goals. Thank you.
Hey, okay, I had a little heads up and I saw it on the email again, but I had to read all the way to the end of the email. And then, anyway, I brought my thing, which I also just happened to get one of these. So you guys have all seen this, but this is for Michelle and for her team. I think it's really important to see all the links. So, yeah, I'm gonna be doing great. Keep going, yeah, it's just really emotional for me to see all the support. It's really great. After all these years, right?
Yeah, Kara's worked really hard towards this project. And we're very thankful for all the time and effort that she puts into it, and how much passion she has behind it, and how much support she gives all of us. Because we wouldn't be able to do it just as a city or as a municipality ourselves. We need the support of our community members as well, and everybody that's been impacted and, or, you know, knows people that have been impacted or has spent time in the Aqua Center at our lakes or anything like that around the areas.
Yeah, no, and you guys, like, I was just ready to cry with everybody's story. Anyone in particular, it was just like, you know, I had to go last. If I had gone first, I wouldn't have cried.
Oh,
I was ready, and then I was like, oh, shit. It was going down, fast. So it's just me. But it's very exciting to see everybody here and hear all these stories, and this is exactly why we're here, you know? Just everybody wants the same thing.
Well, it's wonderful to see all the representation from the city and from the city council, and I didn't know you were the mayor. Your worship. But we know you've got to go a little bit early, right?
Yeah, I do.
Probably soon, but thank you. And counselors and everybody. Okay. I just wondered though if someone here could give just a bit of an update, because there has been money raised. That's a good thing. Also, secondly, when are you actually kind of going to start the construction? And I had another quick question, because I think this group deserves to know, the progress, like, where are you at?
Or do you want to?
Yeah, I can speak briefly on it, I guess. I think I sent you this stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Right to date, in our bank account, we're sitting at $327,000. With, as well as an in-kind donation from the Rotarians for $30,000. So that puts us at 357, whatever, in the bank at this.
And the stretch goal is a whopping 2 million.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that was set because that health center you wing raised 2 million.
The emergency room.
Emergency.
That one.
So that was kind of my question on the funding, and this, I could talk to you later about it. So do we have grants or government grants right now?
Yeah.
That incorporate a percentage?
Yeah.
And so that's usually what sets the community contribution?
Yeah, so we do have both provincial and federal funding right now, which we've been sitting on for 3 years.
Yeah, I guess I should comment, that's just the money we've raised.
Sorry, yeah.
With it, like, that doesn't include any grant money, like, that, and that's kind of been a barrier, like, I think Kara and I have been on this, well, we,
For a long.
geez, I guess, like Lindsay was on it, and whatnot for a long time, a long time.
Yeah.
And it's always been a problem, and it still is a problem a little bit today, is that there's money that comes to the city that I'm not aware of, right? And so we don't really know the actual number of money we have.
Because this is a separate community committee that's not attached to the city, but is supporting the city, and then the city has their own funds raised and their own grants and everything else. So we were just basically asked by the city, when Colleen and Karen had started, to say, can you start a fundraising committee to get things off the ground and to show that there's community support? And then that is where it kind of all started from.
And well, we were lobbying, and the province told us it's very important that you have the community involved to show the support. And it was very important that it be a community committee, not a council committee. That's where it evolved from.
Yeah, so we do have the fundraising dollar amounts, and then we do have provincial and federal funds as well, and I don't wanna say out loud the dollars and cents, because if I get an 8 or a 5 first, or a 5 or 8 first. But we will have all of that information to everybody, as well as the committee as well, so that everyone can see everything and where it's at. Currently, we're hoping to start both excavation and piling for the project in September, so in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. So, at that point, for anybody that doesn't know, the pool is going in the previous pool's location. That decision was made after a bunch of different excavations and tests to determine where the best location would be, and that was the one that was decided previous, and the one that we're going with. So we are looking at piling excavation sometime in September. The exact date hasn't been picked yet. Our engineering team and our architect, Ernst Hansch, are from Winnipeg, and they're hoping to come up for that. So as soon as we can arrange with them what the exact date is that the shovel is going in the ground, then everyone will be made aware of that with ample time, so that anybody that can be there can be there if they want to be. After that point, the site will sit over the winter months, pouring concrete and things like that for anybody that has it.
Yeah. You want to say?
In that knows that increases the cost substantially. So we are gonna let the site kind of settle over the winter months, and then as soon as spring hits, we'll be able to start with concrete and move forward with our construction. So we're looking at about a 2-year build, obviously with contingency built in. And then we hope to have a beautiful, exciting pool. We are waiting from Ernst Hansch again from their design team so that we can have, I'm sure you guys probably saw different layouts and a lot of different things like that. Right now, I can describe to you that we do have a lap pool like we did prior to. We also have a separate basin leisure pool. It's smaller, it's about a third of the size roughly of the lap pool. It has 0 entry, ramp entrance, stair entrance. It has a small raised area. It's a circular shape. It's about 3 or 4 inches depth for small children, babies. There's also I want to call it a river because I feel like that gives the wrong interpretation.
Lazy donut.
A lazy, yes, a lazy donut area. But again, like Sarah was talking about, for people using the space both as a leisure pool and as a rehabilitation space, that's really exciting. We're going to be able to use that space in different ways, and the lap pool also does have ramp access as well. So it's going to make this space accessible to as many members of our community and as many members of different communities that are going to visit us as well. There will be a small multi-purpose space off the pool deck where we'll be able to do things like birthday parties, where we'll be able to train guards, run first aid, run all that wonderful program that now, we're shuffling into the community hall or the green room or council chambers. We'll be able to do those kinds of things on site, which is really exciting. Yeah, so it's moving forward and we're very, very excited about it. We're into things like picking colors of tile, and things like that. So it's definitely on the move. And as soon as they have that stuff finalized, then we'll be able to have some beautiful artistic renditions for everybody so that everyone can see. Our goal is to have a aquatic center web page linked to the City of Flin Flon page that people can go on and see pictures and see fundraising updates and learn more information about the project, where they can donate, how they can be involved. Things like that. If anybody has some questions,
Any questions?
Could I just tell a little story to when we received the millions?
Sure.
It was, we lobbied hard. The hardest thing we ever did as a council was to shut the pool down. That was Valentine's Day, 2019. It was the hardest thing. And I remember going to the parking lot. I was involved with AMM, and 3 of the people that were on the committee for selecting the funding were part of my board that I was on. And I called one of them and I sent an email to them and they said, we had to close the pool down today. Right away, I got an email from one of them, don't worry, Karen. So that day I knew we were going to get the funding, but nothing was positive. COVID happened and everything. So fast forward to the end of end of March 2021, my husband and I are driving back from Nova Scotia. We've gone from Petawawa, I think, to Thunder Bay that day. We were exhausted. We're in a hotel room in Thunder Bay and I hadn't looked at my emails all day long. And I opened up my phone and I had got an email from our former CAO, Lynette Daschuk at the time, announcing that we were getting these millions of dollars. My husband was exhausted for driving and we're in the hotel room and I won't say the words I said, I started to swear, I started to cry, I started to jump around. My poor husband who was sleeping, what's going on? So that's how we found out we got the millions. So it was, yeah, it's big that we got it.
It's a good start.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, it was
I have a
just,
question, Kate. So is the design finalized or?
Yes.
That design that was presented in June of last year, maybe remember that community meeting we held when Andrew, the old rec director, and all the CAOs? Was that design in those drawings?
I can't say 100% what. It's very close.
Presented.
I think it's-
because we added the health and safety pieces.
It's very close.
Oh, okay.
It's very close to that as far as the pool itself.
And I know I was at that meeting, but I wasn't in this position at that point, so.
Yeah.
I think it is similar. I think at that point, though, the leisure pool, the basins were connected, and the one that we have now, the basins are separate, so that if there was an incident in the pool.
Yeah.
There's an incident in the pool, we don't have to close both pools. That came about because one of our engineers actually took his children to a pool and said, oh my gosh, did you know this is what happens? And I said, I know.
that was to do with the cost too, that it was changed because he needed to,
Yeah.
different systems to heat up.
But we were making it work.
So, yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, so it is, it's two separate pool basins, design of the dressing room. Change room area is very open concept, like most new facilities, new pools are being built now. There would be changes in their own individual toilet stall or individual change stall. The lockers run down the middle and down either side, so. It's a pretty open concept.
Front office area was changed a bit too, because. we
Yeah,
found
the
there
front
wasn't enough
office.
Space for the lifeguards.
Yeah, the
Office people.
Yes, the front office space as well had some changes from the design that you guys would have seen. We put in a shower. There's a kitchenette space so that they can eat their meals, they can work in a desk space and not at the table that they're supposed to eat at. So that they can shower and change privately. Those are some additions that were made.
Okay, I'm getting a note from my team saying, Michelle, move it along. Okay, so I'm not doing my job. Thanks, team. Okay, so we are now going, thank you, everybody. That was awesome. I think we're brought up to date now on where the project is going. The next piece that we're going to talk about is the case for support. Now, you had created a case for support and you explained to me, the excellent materials, by the way, that came from the government of Manitoba. And you had some assistance and it went through a few hands. But we're going to be creating a new one because we're now launching, like this is day one, okay? I'm going to ask Julie to just walk us through. She's prepared a bit of a presentation on what is a case for support. And then we're going to break into groups. Well, after we do one quick question, and then we're going to break into groups and we're going to address some of the questions that you see on this agenda. So Julie, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, and we can see the presentation.
Excellent. Okay, I can't see you, so we'll just go with it. All right. So, what is a case for support? So the case for support for us right now is an opportunity to make a splash. A case for support is an essential tool that helps organizations effectively communicate their mission, demonstrate their impact, and inspire potential donors to.
I'll just describe the picture.
So some really important elements of a case for support are clarity. So clearly explaining the mission and goals for potential donors to understand. Storytelling, so engaging donors emotionally with real life examples and challenges. To be honest with you, that's one of the reasons we really wanted to have this focus group is we know that you're all very highly passionate individuals and the storytelling is so important in the case for support narrative. And so far already, we've gotten so much wonderful stories and content that will be used to shape the case. Another thing that's important is evidence. So showing past success with data, statistics, testimonials, transparency. So we want to build trust by revealing how funds will be used and as well as the financial practices. We
already since then.
Also highlighting the uniqueness in a crowded funding space, values alignment. So we really want to emphasize shared values with potential donors. We wanted to have credibility, so it shows professionalism and dedication to the cause. Planning, it guides long-term goals and strategies. and consistent messaging. So it keeps the message uniform across various platforms. So once a case is created, we'll know how to
Guess I'm here as the president of the Kinsman Club.
what we're looking for, on social media and our communications, and it kind of keeps everything cohesive. And then as well, engagement. So it kind of unifies everybody involved in this project. It puts everybody on the same page. It helps everybody be able to articulate, what you want to say and have that all uniform as well. So it really enhances the level of communication among stakeholders and how individuals can speak to others about the project and get other people excited. So now we're going to do a little group activity. So I'm going to need you all to do the following. So I'm going to need you to break out into 3 groups, and I have your groups listed here. I believe, yes?
Julie, are we not doing one word first?
Oh, yes, we will, but we're going to break them out first, aren't we?
No, I think we'll just, I want to hear everybody's one word.
Sure.
Right? Yeah, so that way everybody can hear everybody's.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so we're going to do a little quick fire activity, and we're going to go around the table. And the question is, what is the first word that comes to mind when you think of the new aquatic center being built? And I will start with whomever is beside Michelle.
That would be you.
Me, I can start first. I won't start crying. I'm just gonna say safety.
I'm gonna say fun.
I'm gonna say finally.
Finally.
Agreed.
Health.
Fantastic.
Health, she said.
Health.
Health.
Sorry, Troy, what did you say?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Children.
Exciting.
The coffee chair, fun.
Inclusive, okay.
Necessity.
Necessity.
Gathering.
Family.
Community. I'm gonna say happiness.
Hmm.
Potentials.
Growth.
It's not fair to go last, but yeah.
Tell me about it.
Because mine was also finally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Julie, just one thing is that not everyone did show up. So we might have to adjust these groups a little bit.
Sure.
Because we've got some that have 5 people, I think, and group 2 seems to have 7. And then group 3, how many people here are group 3 at this point? 1, 2,
3.
Group 1 has 7.
yeah, so we're gonna, do you want to help me, Karen, just?
Yeah, so we aren't on that list, but I saw our names are on the list over there.
Yeah, you guys are on the list.
This
Here,
is not
on
on
this
the
list.
not on
Oh,
the-
No, no,
sorry, no.
Okay,
You're
so
on here.
Julie, we're just gonna group the groups, okay? And then you'll walk us through the questions.
Just let me know when you're ready, because I can't see you.
We're good.
Yeah.
Good. I think that's, no, I know, but these guys are, because, or not Craig, sorry, but Cheryl brought Troy. And we have Heather, Corey.
Oh, you're not used to it. No, just think about
I think we have 6, one is 7, and this one is 5. So if I could get, Nikki's not here. She left, so this one's 6 as well. So we have 5, 6, 6.
Okay, so we have 5, 6, 7.
So in group 1, we have Tara, Caitlin, Elvira, Miranda, and Kara.
And you're gonna meet here. Group 1 is meeting around this corner and this flip chart.
And Kelsey, in group 2, we have Kelsey, Sarah, Karen, Rella, Evan, Lindsay, and we don't have Carrie Wood. And then in group 3.
Then you're gonna meet there.
Over there?
Over there, and you don't have a flip chart, but you have a piece of paper and pen.
And group 3 is over here?
No, over there.
There?
Group 3 is meeting at the council table.
Okay, and that's Heather, Corey, Sharon, and Troy and Krista And Joe.
Okay, so if you could settle in and then Julie's gonna walk us through a few introductions, okay?
All right. By. Over here, right?
Yeah, we're done this here.
Group one. Hello, friends. It's Rocker Day. Should have worked fast. I was like, I was meeting kids.
Because someone can take this chair.
You took that picture.
So I understand my kids. She's small, and now she's big.
I brought my big time.
And in Winnipeg, actually, because that's the thing with the school run, my kids have to stop running.
It's good to, it's good to.
I'm watching sports.
I think Rose here in that picture, with an apple size.
Okay, so is everybody settled in their quarters? Good.
Remember that.
Good, all right. You two are here, right? Good.
Amira, you're with us.
Good.
Okay, so
All right, so now Julie, just walk us through what it is that you want us to do. So if I get everybody's attention for about 2 minutes.
Okay, so one of the things that I'll need for each group is I will need you to designate a note taker. So someone in the group is going to take notes and write them on your boards.
I'm group one. Get over here, here.
This is two.
Come on.
That's
So
two.
now that we have our note takers, I'm going to start asking you 4 questions. And as a team, I would like to answer all 4. I'm gonna read them one by one, and I'm gonna give you about 5 minutes per question. So that'll give you enough time to discuss and write down your key points. Once we're done all 4, we're gonna have each group have somebody present on behalf of the group. And that's what we're gonna do. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah. Big papers and little paper.
Yeah. The whiteboard over there.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, is everybody ready?
Do you want these for fun? Yeah. These.
You're good? Okay.
I don't know.
First the one.
Okay, shh.
Okay. So question number 1. Who will be most impacted in the community and area when the Aqua Center gets built?
Okay, we're going with that now.
So we gotta.
Okay, go for it, you guys. I'm timing.
We can answer more than one answer to the question.
Oh, yeah, you can just go for it. Yeah.
I think everything that, we wrote because they're not otherwise getting. Well, very often getting, yes. They're always like seniors. That was very broad.
That's going to be in order of importance too. Yeah.
Seniors, people with disabilities, seniors and people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a huge thing.
And I did travel with somebody. School.
You did.
Look at my sheet, it's $10.
Yeah, no, I know, we tried to get some. People are seeking for community groups and stuff, but it's hard to see. It was a short note.
Yeah.
And they're not all like, they don't think they're mind working right now.
No.
So
Yes.
You know, this is the other people I think who are gonna be impacted, people who like, always kind of we said, Michelle, like the kids who don't like fit into the happy. Like the just are kind of individual. So.
I don't,
Yeah, this is true. That's what I mean.
It's brutal. Oh, it is, absolutely. I can't imagine.
Yeah, yes.
At least the first year is free. It affects like this.
Yeah.
The first year is free when it comes to like even the workers, right? Because they.
Yeah, like if this starting to make
People dedicated to them with the she's had.
Yeah, isn't that just something, right?
Yeah.
Like it's totally different in the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
What group does that?
Yeah.
What is it? You said to do with jobs and.
Like, yes, city jobs.
Well, and I think you also have to recognize that, like you said, the kids will never get into a group.
Yeah.
Right, there's kids in the community who actually don't go to Lake.
Yeah.
Right, so I think that.
It's just relevant answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
And like,
Everybody.
like, yeah. It is a community, it's everybody, like, it's buddies.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 We've all been
Glad
on
this way.
It's
Yeah.
No, it's true.
It's deep, it's scary.
All right.
The rehabilitation, the rehabilitation. School program.
Yeah.
I think like families, tourists, hockey, yes.
And I think that, like Sarah touched on too, like just visitors.
Attracting.
And it attracts visitors like. Right, like there's a friends here. So late, we kind of have Saturdays. Like groups. We have lots of surrounding people. Yeah. Like we have. Like, because she's.
Sure.
Then accepted.
For support, we were, but he was.
Yeah, it's not only our community.
Yeah.
How are we doing for time, Michelle?
I think we're.
A minute left.
Okay, is everybody good or do you still need some time?
It's not quite done yet.
First questions?
Still on the first. Oh, okay. Still on the first. I've got my timer going, Julie.
Okay, question two, like why the sun answers they were given. Thank you.
I think I miss you, but I thank you. She worked with me. We're good. Yeah, for sure. We could be here as a couple of question number two.
Yeah.
How does the presence contribute to the economy and insurance and the growth of small businesses? I can see the. Besides, it's all. When it's shut down.
So many people, when I spent the winter, like in your time for the water. It's such a community, even welcoming into the whole, like it's such a community and I mean, it's, you know, I mean.
Okay, so 25 seconds.
How much more?
Oh, just more, not, no, it was very active. And it was the whole morning.
No.
Okay, that's the end of section one, everyone. Of question one, Julie, what's our next question?
Question two is, how does the Aqua Center's presence contribute to the local economy, tourism, and the growth of small businesses in the region?
And if you can think of any other sectors that it contributes to, I remember someone saying that you're wanting to use it to attract businesses to come to Flin Flon, so all of those kinds of things. Okay, think through every sector that is contributed to positively, okay?
So it attracts families and professionals.
Families, like for people that want to like relocate, if there's nothing for a family to do, it's a huge.
They're like, oh. Unity, let's have a business.
And seniors get stayed. We got a pool. That's something to this meeting. It's true, I was just like. You walk in the pool, same thing, a couple of times. I spent 2 weeks there. That's the right.
Yeah. Small growth business.
It is small.
She's come from Winnipeg, like here.
And they don't go to the-
Yeah. They're going in like
Right, making a day.
Going for dinner, whatever. They're coming in for that.
People do somewhere, we do this too, right? I've got transfer, but.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They're gonna be close, but it's worth their coming, right? Yeah, exactly, it's worth.
Also, if anybody's got any stats, if you've done any multiplier effects on any of this, and if that's available, let us know. Okay? Any kind of statistics around the economic impact.
Yeah.
A restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get gas.
Yeah.
And you just.
Well, it would bring the busloads of speakers in, you can see that.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of that.
It's like the outlying communities, I wrote them down again, I wrote them so many times, but like,
So
you've got Flin Flon, Cranberry, Sharon, like, Golden Egg, like.
And so it's like, they're checking things out while they're here, but we need to make it more.
For example, there's tennis. That's 11 communities.
It's all dentists and doctors, their hospital and the dentist.
Yes, like local economy wise, I feel like that's one of the reasons, like, for state someone coming.
Tennis, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Six of them. So, yeah.
Good voices.
Yeah, like something else.
Yeah, with the new pool, with the new
Coming, right, because.
Yeah,
the worst
birthday parties and now it's gonna give.
Oh, yeah.
Revenue.
Because there's nothing to do. So now that's what you said.
Yeah.
And then when they have, like, the competitive swimming, yes, right? This one, so there was really,
Yeah,
I brought $100 and my birthday party.
Oh, that's a big part. Attractions.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't, everything, I don't get it till there's a set of everything.
I think there's still 20 yeah, there's lots of 25 meters long, which will be, they just don't be, it's with, like, yeah, West Friday. Hopefully there's decks, holes, and it's in the there, like, down here, it looks big now.
I mean,
The health system, the health has to use the pool,
like,
saves.
laser
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Budget strategy, and statistics around it.
By the time you got.
Yeah.
I would say down.
Like where your head goes, because when they are the brain.
It's about
Yeah.
30 seconds or so.
It's pretty much 2 months before.
Yeah.
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 But it's tricky, think about how much, like, physical activity.
It offers a variety of like.
It's hard in the winter, right?
Yeah, how do you put it? It'll be kind of issues. Not everybody could say, facility and program, right? So what happens when it goes down is that.
I see, wait.
These do not.
But just there,
I just go.
Michelle, everybody, does anybody need more time on this one? Or are we okay?
I don't think the small business.
We're good? Okay. Someone had mentioned some stats around drowning. Who was that?
Sarah and Miranda.
I think I did, I have that on enough.
Yeah.
Oh, Kelsey.
If we have a report, that'd be handy to have too, so we can, share that or share it with Kate.
This is, Canadian drowning.
Oh, you have Canadian drowning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the difference
Okay.
between communities that have aquatic centers and access to pools versus communities that don't.
Okay, so Julie, there's that info, okay? So Julie, what's our third one?
Well, the third one is when the center gets built, what are you most looking forward to as a result of the build? For example, swimming lessons, a place for community interaction, senior programming, etc.
All of the above.
Okay, so we'll take a few minutes on that. What are you most looking forward to? And that's just the city's perspective too, right? And maybe the Rotary Club's perspective. You can put your sector hat on here and your individual hat on, okay?
Yeah, I think that we went first for kids. Yeah. This is awesome. Just like going. Yes.
Minus 35 up to I just said, I cannot do anything with my child and he goes, not one playing bits anymore.
Yeah. Children in a warm, icy way.
Yeah. Yeah, when you close, like, I don't,
Well, the year round.
Right, it's year round, yeah.
I'm such a short.
Did you try the?
Yeah, and that's all more snacks. Everybody.
That's me.
Measures fast.
Yes, I'll cover that one.
So yeah, swimming lessons for the kids.
We did go to gathering, but that was literally because like the only place on weekends till library had started closing.
And put it together.
Yeah. Like I remember Jaleesa and I both, the guys were on nights.
Yeah.
I think they maybe went to my office one time, sit in the conference room, like really nowhere, because there's just such limited community space.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was like.
You know, they're out for the beach.
Yeah. Ready for new too.
Yeah.
To me, yeah.
Talk to because people contact me.
We didn't care.
There's so many seniors coming to that Aqua size. It's a major part of it.
Oh, yeah.
It was major. It was their lifeline.
And a lot of this is African, it's like, right? Is that African?
Yeah.
I got to connect, I could tell it's people in it. I remember how big it grew, it was like amazing.
Yeah.
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 Families and how many times that we had come to.
I mean, that group was something else. Gosh, girls, fundraising stuff.
We did lots of things while we were.
They were in the water, they were talking about what fundraiser. Yeah.
Very. You can anywhere. But I'm. Yes, because during that time I worked there, like I had seen so many kids like go there to one that has exhibited mobility issues and how far they've been. Because of coming in.
And I was sitting there, I said, God, as soon as.
Well,
you
look at all the pictures and stuff. Jennifer Minton, her and I used to like.
Right, like.
She messes with something, you know, that's her.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, they enjoyed that so much.
Speaking of, this is our next, to the one.
Who is this?
So I created this sport area so that she.
That's my example right there.
I just remember when his dad coming in and they were having their land and all the other kids were playing something with the game.
Yes.
Yeah, so this time. Other one said, "Trent, and that's crazy." So if you want to play, then you have to be a good citizen.
And Betty was talking about. Let's see, there's, close that, John.
This is a round ramp and this is stairs. It goes kind of, goes from about 3 feet down to 5
I had
meters.
a 85-year-old.
The Jacks are each kind of great buildings. Sensation.
I heard this walking.
The Jacks.
So put it in.
Well, it's this round ramp.
That's
Just a little string of longer than gravel that's. Spiders.
Then why they are separated, right?
Yeah, I think that.
And a couple of them are seniors.
Okay, so about half a minute left on this one.
The community wants it. And
It'll be easy to swing people back. It won't take. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When it opens up, yeah.
no.
So I'll bring this
Like the teams.
Let's talk about having the.
Yes.
Yeah, do we need more time on this or are we good?
Oh, we're good. Here's about.
We're good? Okay. Moving on, Julie.
Okay, final question, number 4, is how can the Aqua Center serve as a community hub? What does having a space to meet your community mean for you, your family, and your business?
And I would throw in there maybe the schools, any other of the stakeholders in this community. What does it mean to have an Aqua Center now?
Making sure that we.
Okay.
As long as it's safe.
Yeah, I think that's really great. So, it's waiting for kids that's, you know, like. They can sit.
It's a great. Never come out social media ever again. I promise. I'm not trying to spend like after that.
Every year.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah, I know.
Having to
It's on it.
if you guys don't have your foot down, you must come like.
Then there's
Pretty much crazy
thing that we had on trip or make it bigger.
Here and there.
So it was like really.
Then I know what to do, you guys.
Yeah. Down there.
I know it.
So that was looked at, but the drones and they tested. It's not the hill.
Then my kids end up on the Aqua.
It's so deep or anything, but it doesn't pile, it's not, it could be shitty.
Well, it's
So it was like, it was the second.
It was a little.
Yeah.
It was their personal community, things where they got to see.
Yeah, lots of these people didn't get to communicate with anybody, any other part of the
Well,
city.
one of the ladies that used to go.
I'm gonna say social interaction.
Now that's social interaction.
Like, there's one of the ladies that I picked up a couple of times, and she doesn't drive, so when it's down warm enough, you're ready, I'll give her a safe she said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kids.
So am I.
and I don't.
I was really, yeah. Okay. But then how old is it gonna be? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, no, when I think about it, actually, community gets built at our Aqua Center with every time, right? Because I'm doing something with the kids and then seeing the same lady show up for the random fox.
Yes.
Right?
Spend $800
Dinner discussing. Yeah, it's for that last person to be in. Those generations don't learn in a lot of other avenues. And just sort of-
That's why I put that in the biggest letter. Fine. Like, it's a place.
Yeah.
My first shift ever in review. And we had little kids climb up the slide, in a life jacket and then fall from the top. He was fine, but it's just like checking out the nerves. Yeah, and I felt like that's resilience right there.
And again, like, you know, with the. Like you learn so much responsibility and what the real numbers are. Like, I just learned like working for a long and together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can climb across.
And in this case, obviously, it's lives.
Yeah, certainly. And then you're not doing the big.
It's not cool like. It's like.
Yeah, checking all that stuff.
Okay, so there's that next one, and then I'm going in a bonus question.
I know, that was the. My son, my big son, 4 questions. Great. I know.
Why is she here?
Yeah.
This is really great.
That was nice. Yeah. I know, and it's very new. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay, we're. Are we pretty good? Yeah, all right. You guys see your performance, we're good.
And it's not a giant feeling.
You guys are done here, and you're gonna share that? Okay, everybody, this is a kind of a new question, but as I was walking around and listening, and we're going through all of the people impacted, one thing I did not see in the materials that were shared with us is an ecosystem. And so you're each gonna take a few minutes. It's easy to build one. I think you all know what an ecosystem is, right? And if you don't, some of your colleagues do. I'd like you to just start with the pool and then branch out all the different stakeholders, users, who's in the education space, your neighboring communities, your indigenous communities, the businesses, the suppliers, tourism, these are the ones I'm thinking about right here. But you know what an ecosystem is. How do you fit into that ecosystem? How does that aquatic center fit into the ecosystem of Flin Flon and the catchment area? Okay, so that we are not missing anybody that you kind of spider web out to. So let's see, you're each gonna draw your own. It's gonna be fun when we see them. Okay? Go.
Yeah. So we start with the people themselves.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, it's perfect.
Like people,
You know, so that.
everyone's like. Things like that, you know, actually, it's like people in our experience and lifestyle. But yeah, like the stakeholder business.
So then when you're writing for the businesses, I did it for rescue.
But I think we have a list of
Thanks.
Here's some of the.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like this beach kind of like. Training lifeguards that can. Yeah. Yeah. That can see. Yeah. Prepare for summer and offer like training. Yeah. So for us to be able to do that. Training.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
This is so true.
Have us come out and, yeah, like that, they just.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just, but that was because we connected with them.
I'm off screen, so you can do. do whatever.
Even that was, so let's stick to that. Or you see your right? Like that was. It just so much. Yeah.
Throw like my team again.
I mean, that's a whole thing in itself. People are so mad when they get out of the pool, like, have that vending machines, they could have a whole like booster. Yeah, like, there's a huge opportunity for government grants right now. Or like sense, or just extra ready, this in the parking lot, like. if
They
they-
can bring water.
Rental
No butter.
The trivia.
Yeah.
Like, if it was.
I cannot on my phone now.
Like your levels.
Yeah, I guess I'd comment that's just the.
Yeah, like, this swimming was have like very basic, like,
Yeah.
water station, but not certifications, like that's when you get.
Like the Ireland Fest, they're gonna give you water.
Yeah.
This year.
Communication.
Through a century. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like it's just like there'd be not only people, but their messaging. It's
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, steam swim, speed swim, whatever.
Reliable and fast.
yeah, exactly.
Nice to remind.
You've got a lot of.
What about
The actual number.
Yeah.
So I should have put hospital on there, seniors home, rehab, all those groups.
Or even, so because there is.
For 7 plus.
By the city when Colleen.
When's your birthday?
Yeah.
So I don't think you want to be lying.
Yeah.
See what's that? Religious. Yeah.
Sure. I will have to do this. No, so.
Then there's, did you guys put a wet cloth over that sensor for the sign so? Oh, no, I said. Oh, we didn't know that, that's what it would do.
Yeah.
Like, you burn, I know they were, so many elements again.
Look at what the guys used to do. They brought a cookie sheet, put water on. Yeah. Yeah, they did. I know, cause I picked it up. Let's just.
Yeah.
Oh.
Train and song playing. I just threw a few.
Yeah.
Still training.
Yeah.
Did you know what the lives are like?
Which would kind of stuff, yeah.
Lots of these stuff. Talk to me because I was, but the last time I went there, there was this one gal that like really worried.
Yeah. Well, like when they had, when they had like cars, but in their.
See, she's okay.
And that was so nice.
And I was able in the summer to have like conversation with her.
Yeah, actually.
And that evolved into helping her grow quite a bit mentally, like, so it is, it's so much part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said it's a caring.
In September.
Yeah.
In the middle of. Yeah.
But
Not saying, but amazing. Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, I was just helping.
rules and stuff, right? It's almost like you get it in like this weird ball, and that's what leads to like, like
Everyone, we're gonna just take a bit of time for that section out, okay?
It changed my life. The day of our state I came over. 2003, I put the swimsuit on for my first year. Sure. I know. And they told me, yeah, for the, that was in class before was
Right now, it is, yeah, because they all, right?
So it's not so, yeah, it's special needs. I know.
oh, ELS.
Yeah. I was so nervous.
So that takes us to
Change.
the end of that section.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to see the ripple effect that the pool has
Interesting.
in the whole community. Okay, so we're gonna report back now. Okay, everyone?
Hey.
All right, why don't we start with group 3? And then we'll go to group 2 and then we'll go to group 1. And you'll see it should get, you know, if you've heard something you've already said in another group, we'll kind of speed through this, okay? So, you'll just go through every question, if you can. So who's reporting from group 3? All right, I guess Heather. All right. Okay, Heather.
So I'm just gonna list these off. So we had youth, families, seniors.
Is that group 1? That's question 1?
Question 1.
Yeah, good, perfect.
Yeah. So youth, families, seniors, everyone, community and surrounding communities, commuters, kayakers, training environment, students, learners, teachers, job creation, healthcare, drownings, economic impact / business, tourists, newcomers, and retention.
Okay, can you hear all that, Julie and Pat?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. Great.
Yep.
Question 2.
Momentum, service industry, retail, attraction / professionals, retention, youth jobs, recreation / sports, education, and job creation during building process. Okay. Number 3 was programming / lessons for the youth, seniors, and every age group. Vandalism moved down with programming, recreation options, another space for birthdays and events. Okay. Next question, I had complete community / staples of recreation, employee retention and recruitment, and other options, sports teams, complement, or team building and activities, cheap, affordable, and accessible, and school trips. And then the last one, you had Oakland, Creighton, Benair Beach, Canning, Cranberry, Deschambault, Sandy Bay, Sturgeon Landing, The Paw, Pelican, Snow Lake, Blondeless, Walker, City Skin, skating, mirrors, football, aqua fitness, pharmacy, CIBC, RBC, credit union, Scotiabank, RHA, Subway, Chicken Chef, Inferno, Heads Threads, Oran, and then contractors like Sandus, McLean Engineering, Heavy Rock, Major, Burkowski, Rodrin, Keens, Reliance, Johnson. And then he said separate rental, and sections, like maybe you could look at the 80 birthday party, that we look at the bottom section of the pool, don't necessarily the whole pool, right?
Yeah, Julie says, could you please take a pic of every board for me? Heather's already done that. So Heather's going to email that to us, right?
Yeah, okay, so.
Yeah, all of the.
It also does have ramp access as well, so.
Group 2 is next.
I can take.
Who's reporting on group 2?
Lindsay?
Our question 1 was pretty much the same. We included like people with limitations, low income, like visitors for say like hockey tournaments, tourists, user groups. One thing I find like working from the tourism office is you get a lot of people coming in because they're looking for things to do always. They're looking for the liquor store, things to do. where's Lindsay? They can't find it.
We need to put a bar on this thing.
For number two, we kind of have the same question, trying to attract families and work professionals, retaining seniors, bringing outlying communities in, they'll shop local, boost local economy. Three, we have kind of same thing, kind of swimming lessons, school programming, aqua fitness user groups, family activities, lifeguard programs, year-round swimming and senior interactions, getting together. For four, we kind of said more like it's a nice safe space, healthy social interactions, togetherness, fun, and just making connections.
And wow, have a look at this here. Have a ecosystem. Go ahead.
Well, our service entails everybody, basically, just like a communication hub, career development, indigenous groups, public safety, schools, which incorporates like special needs, businesses, you know, workers, tourism, local suppliers, seniors, families, so basically everybody.
Yeah, and what we will probably do with this is we're actually going to create an ecosystem for you from everybody's input. Because you know, it's just good to have this, so that it's also a very nice image to demonstrate the impact that this pool has and how it's interconnected with the entire community. So Aqua Center, not just the pool. Okay, over here, group one. Thank you.
We included, just like some that we haven't heard or a little bit of. For number one, disabilities, kids who prefer solitary activities or shy away from team sports to draw them in from maybe the fringes. Families can afford the pool and maybe do not have access to lakes. Did you say? No, because just the Aspen Grove housing next door. Oh, yeah, might be very affected or impacted, yeah. Shows an investment in our future in the community, and I heard like retention and attrition of professionals, entice people to choose to work in the north. Then lots of other things we already heard. Number three, a warm gathering place, a warm place for mental health, improved quality of life for seniors, etc. Newcomer safety, swimming in an affordable community. And the same thing like teams, for number four, doves, the aqua jets, the aqua fitters, the schools, and the community gets built every time they go in there.
Okay.
And then,
Put this, show this here again, another ecosystem that. Getting a summary here. Okay, so.
I think the biggest one that wasn't already said, maybe just training lifeguards, like being a training hub for lifeguards that can then go out to some of the outlying communities and do lakefront lessons in some of our nearby communities. Because those communities are also desperate for this pool to be built. So even though they're not in our tax base and they're not contributing right now, they will be contributing to our pool by paying to come here and use the facility. And then our school swim lessons, and then the kayak and canoe lessons, then support the kayak and canoe businesses in town. And people feel more comfortable than using those out in the water. Yeah. All the same things, just really about social connections for people in the community. And then everything kind of ripples out from there.
Can someone speak to the relationship with the indigenous communities? And this was something that was raised during one of our steering committee meetings, that a lot of indigenous communities are missing the lesson, right? Yes. And did they come here or did you go there? How did that work? Somebody maybe just share with everybody.
So like they came here in different ways, like Frontier School in Cranberry had a weekly time slot every evening or every week. They would bring a bus of kids. Some places farther out, it was more of like a once in a while kind of thing. They were too far to come out for the solid swimming lessons school sets that like our local schools would do. And I know Creighton had disconnected from doing that and opted to do skating or something instead.
Yeah, they were doing.
In the later years, but when it comes to like how they've been integrated, and I don't know what kind of work the steering committee has done with these groups or like Manitoba Métis Federation or anything, but involving them would be very beneficial in a multitude of ways. If you bring their culturally safe aspects of the facility for functional programming and how to involve them, to what kind of grants would be available through their communities, all the way to Flin Flon doesn't have urban reserves, but is that something that they would ever be open to when you look at repurposing the land and doing like big projects like this that other communities are very invested in? Because then they're paying a lot of those operational costs that are huge for a smaller municipality when they have a bigger partnership agreement and they're paying in a bigger way.
So you probably can speak this more, but the prior rec director had reached out to the Métis Federation, but I don't know where that went. So, if you have any insight?
There's been lots of conversations
Yeah.
with the Manitoba Métis Federation and with some of the other local Indigenous groups and committees and groups. So they were all invited to be here tonight as well. And we're just sad that they're not here for this, but they are being consulted with the design and stuff like that as well. Like we've been talking to some people that are giving us some good information and ideas about how to design it to be a more welcoming space. So,
And we are hoping that maybe, that this style of event doesn't necessarily fit cultural norms. So taking this information, directly to them, making those connections and being able to go out to these communities and explain to them what we're doing and asking for their input specifically is something that, I think we're going to try to focus on in kind of this next wave, to make sure that we're making those connections, because this doesn't work for everybody, so.
It would be more of like, I think, yeah, presentations to band and council or connecting with the local health directors would also help.
Yeah.
Because they're the sort of people who initiate a lot of these engagements.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably us building that corporate package that we've been talking about for quite some time, because that would probably fit that environment first.
Something
The presentation would be similar.
Yeah.
Did the center have any role to play with newcomers? Like, do you guys have a newcomer kind of an association?
We need our welcome wagon back.
I know.
It's really shifted, like in the last few years. I think that the community is shifting to have more newcomers in the community and wanting to use the facilities while they're here and yeah, new families moving in. Or we have a lot of people, like we said, working at the hospital or working for the dentist coming in and using recreation while they're here and maybe being itinerant workers and things like that. So trying to entice them to bring their families up here because it's an affordable place to live. And then also offering these different amenities, right?
Yeah, the majority of lessons to adults I've taught in the last, say, 8 or so years have been majority newcomers, because this is so, they don't have a bunch of lakes where they're from, and it's, they're terrified because this is their first time stepping foot in water.
And so that's something else to think about, you know, target.
Yeah.
Julie, do you have any other questions before we take a break? Anything you want to hear from this group?
No, honestly, thank you so much for your thoughtful feedback.
Day one, okay?
Really think this through with each other. This is so helpful for all of us on this journey, especially me. So thank you very much. I think you covered well beyond what we expected, and so we're very, very grateful. So I think we can definitely give you a break now.
Well, we'll take a short break and then we're gonna get into, I know everybody says, you know, fundraising is like the other 4-letter word. It's not. It's fun. It's fun raising. So we're gonna talk about that in about 10-15 minutes, okay? So we'll gather back. Yeah, that would just take a break and we'll come back. Okay?
Or just want to say. Or do you rapidly writing?
So the keys for support.
Yeah, that was.
Thank you so much.
I mean, if not, just call me. I didn't lock it. For instance.
And then I would actually like spending some time on school that and then they have for license. So please, amazing swimmers that Michael found. So I was throwing myself, felt like I was a good swimmer, but I was not. I was really fine. So I joined them, like, yeah, so I said, you're running your balls. I'm like, I'm gonna do this fine. It's supposed to sleep through the dog.
But like, I'm in a way I was kind of that people that like, it's almost like reminding people of what you have to do.
Oh, yeah, love it. Same thing.
Yeah, I feel like they can bring like that. Wow. Yeah.
I just had 8 months with my mom. Such a good job.
But I mean, I promise it doesn't matter if I close the laptop and like. No, but can I just leave it all here?
Yeah.
Close it. I always.
Yeah, just shut it down.
Yeah.
Just leave it there.
Okay.
Or check it out.
Okay.
Okay, Chris, thanks.
And then she the one.
That's cool.
Yes, yeah. Now they should have because. Yeah. So if you look at places like Toronto and Vancouver, they're actually tapped out for 3 months. For the testing and moving there, people are tapped out.
So.
Right now, what they do is they search and they all feel like it's a minimum of that word is actually they go and they find their way. But you have to know them.
It's the same as like. There is more that we don't have. Yeah, it's.
And that's like here, but people just. Yeah, that's here, but.
Yeah.
I think I know we started out so like.
And it was just here, they have all this, I wish we were.
Yeah, your knees up, yes.
The artistic ones, those are the things like I'm waiting for. But I was thinking, like, they're all right?
And the piano.
Well, I think that part of them.
Just.
Yeah, that is people want to be us. Yeah. She's just.
So. It was this. It's like, I have to point that out. Maybe you're just. Right when you go there, we are. The more we get back into something like this, there's really not.
One of the happiness.
Because I can still remember going out and I was you have to go to the store. Yeah, so there was, in the city back there. I really like that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't change.
I prefer not to walk those.
Those landing right there, like, yeah, it's wild, and that's where we're at a huge percentage of is. I know lots of people consider living on the, if they sell it. Literally just buy a house.
Actually, Arlene and.
It's just funny.
And then they said, you know,
And like.
they're not close.
Yes, that's just.
Hey, Lindsay, could you take pictures of your guys' house?
Right.
Send them to me.
Yeah. It would completely inappropriate. House and I showed up with Maya and read it. Well, yeah, and that. Bonnie. Oh my gosh, come back. Yeah. Still present. Yes, right. I mean, I just. Oh, I didn't forget Karen. That's so many. I was awesome. And then John, like, I'm having this. I thought everything could stay. I know.
Or whatever it was there. They already had their-
That's one thing around.
Yeah, they just had.
And I remember you were so tiny, you were so tiny, I remember that. But yeah, and your parents lived in the.
It's not.
Yeah, so you guys lived in this. John Bowers. Right, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Only 2 years.
No, we lived here on. Oh. So I was yeah, yeah. And I was neighbors with Hillary. And I lived down the street. I lived there for so time. She must have, yeah. But you know, her brother was friends with my brother, so. You know, they lived there when you're. Yeah, sharing.
Still good.
Yeah, thanks. Think nothing.
But yeah. I know, yeah. He's blue now, so. He was like.
Cause I feel great, I think right now. So many years ago, it was not pretty.
I should call like the babysitter. Friends really hard on a babysitter who's upstairs. But now, she was being all the walk and still got the sleep on it. And it was laying on his back. And so I was like, not always easier than I did. Now, just changed the I think that's cool.
Funnest night ever. I'm gonna get
Oh, my goodness, big league. Right?
Yeah. And I drew her name. And then so you.
Okay, we're gonna get going in a minute, so if you can go around and get some good. Yes.
Go talk to her. I'm kind of all like that. I'm like. Came out of the. So you first picked the number. Like, I stayed up. I mean, I
If you toss it.
Did you really?
Okay. We got this Flin Flon adjourned. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Join our department. Yes. It's just like the drive, not to get you there.
I take seat. Okay. I don't know if Julie is back. Is it good? Julie is not back, then you might have lost Julie, but she'll be back. I think she was just taking a break from her computer. So what we're gonna just do is this next segment, because we've got a lot of valuable information now for our case for support, the development of that, informing that. And now we're going to just talk about fundraising and opportunities. Because again, if, you know, the more input we have on this from different people, the more ideas we can get for different fundraising activities and different fund development opportunities. And those are two different things. So we're gonna do a very quick presentation on fundraising versus fund development. And both of them are important. And you've obviously done both of them already as we move forward. I think Pat might be running the show now. I don't know, or maybe someone is. You'll have to, there you go, Julie. Okay. So give me an example of what you've already done for fundraising, like anything like bingos or raffles. Have you done that?
We did we've done not bingos and raffles as much. We did a Flin Flon game initially. That was one of our big projects when we first started and sold millions of copies.
And we still have some for sale.
And we still have some for sale.
We went a little, jealous on that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Corey has them in the store.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we had like raffles, fundraiser, like yard sale at the community hall. We had a coffee house. We had tag days. Tag days, yeah, that was a thing.
I ran some golf things.
Golf nights, yeah, we had lots of different things, but just, and then, of course, COVID just put a huge wrench in all for everybody. We had plans and they went sideways.
Was the dodgeball a fundraiser?
Dodgeball was a fundraiser. Yeah, that was a good one.
Dodgeball tournament.
Yeah, we had the homecoming that you guys fundraised for homecoming and donated funds. So there's been some different things where, you know, other groups have donated, or fundraised on behalf of us. Yeah.
So, and sometimes people will fundraise for you.
Yeah.
Fund development is just a little bit different. It's more around building relationships with individuals or corporations and long-term relationships where you're getting sponsors and naming opportunities, for example. So do you want to go just through that slide, Julie, that we've, and we can share this too. So fundraising is the act of raising money from donors and supporters, of course, for a specific cause. Fund development, as I just mentioned, is the process of building long-term relationships. So one is short-term, right? Focus is short-term, usually with a raffle or a garage sale or a yard sale, while fund development is long-term. So the goal with fundraising is to raise money for something specific. Fund development, it's support the organization and its mission, right? Sometimes I'll get an email from somebody who says 50-50 raffle and I'll buy a ticket for $5. I have no relationship with the organization, to be honest with you. Now, that raffle though can be the first step to what you call a donor journey. If they're smart, they're gonna come back to me, right? They're gonna say, well, she gave us $5. I'm gonna report to her on how we use that money. And next thing you know, it's $10. And before you know it, it's monthly giving, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the difference. It's relational. Fund development is relational. It's not a one-off. So the activities, you're soliciting donations, you're organizing events, grant proposals in many ways are fundraising. Although you do develop a relationship with your funders, the fund development is, again, there's stewardship involved, right? It's following up with people. And you're developing fundraising strategies. There's so much money to be raised with online now. It's crazy. There's organizations who you'll never speak to them, but you're giving them money because their online presence is so strong and they're so compelling in their messages. And young people, they're all on, I don't even know how they give, but not by check. And then, you know, the metrics, you've got dollars raised, numbers of donors, short-term measures. When you're looking at fund development, donor retention, lifetime value, it can even be they're going to leave you a legacy gift. Some of these parents, some of these people who are older might just say, let's think about the aquatic center in our will.
And we have.
Yes. So that's, you know, those are the kinds of things you think about when you're thinking fund development, right? And then your relationship, you're often looking at your donor's ability to give, like the $5, the $10. But when you're looking at long-term, you're talking about values, right? You're talking to them about meaning, right? So it's a different sort of a relationship. And then the key skills, well, it's sales and marketing for fundraising, right? Event planning. For fund development, it's relationship building, it's strategic planning. It's all about who is going to go and talk to that small business owner, right? That you know that does probably, oh, the other thing you want to know? One of the big reasons why people give money, because they're asked. So I always think of fund development as building, it's really community development. You're building community, you're building a relationship with people. And then they're just wanting you to ask them, do you want me to volunteer? Do you want me to write a check? What do you want me to do? This is important to me. I would not want this not to be here. So how can I help? Okay, so that's that. So examples of fundraising, auctions. If you haven't held an auction, auctions are always fun. Meet and greets. Hopefully you're gonna have hard hat tours and a groundbreaking. I know you didn't quite mention that. I didn't want to say in front of Mayor, hey Mayor, you're gonna have a groundbreaking. Fun runs or fun or whatever, right? Galas, golf tournaments, trivia nights, talent shows. Those are all fundraising activities. Fund development, on the other hand, has to do with relationships, stewardship, strategy, research. You're not going to go and see Canadian Tire until you've done some research, right? What did they give to? Who did they give to before? How much are they giving? What giving? Like they've all got certain giving criteria. All these big companies. Where does it fit? Does it fit in capacity building? Does it fit in health and safety? Where does it fit? Because that's the pitch you're going to make. And you're going to figure out also, maybe they're a naming opportunity. Right? Are they naming anything anywhere? Like, where is Canadian Tire on what billboards, on what, scoreboards? Where are they? So you do research when you're doing fund development. You don't do a whole lot of research when you're doing fundraising. But there's a lot of research to be done. Partnerships. More and more we're hearing that word. As opposed to sponsors, it's a partnership. What will you get out of it? You may end up with a corporate sponsor who wants to contribute because most of their employees love the pool. And they may say to you, I'll tell you where our employees give, we'll do it times 5. Those are all the kinds of ideas that you can have around partnerships as opposed to sponsorships. Grant writing, yes, of course, to some degree, it can be fundraising, but it's also fund development. And then community engagement, super important. So again, this group of people here knows the community way better than we do. And also even better than, each individual. So we're going to put our heads together and we're really no such thing as a bad idea. Think of everybody you know, and I always say to people, think of the lawn you go to, think of your book club, think of your church group. If you've ever worked in politics, whenever you sit down with a candidate, somebody who's new to run for something, they say, I don't know if I should run, I don't know anybody. And you say, well, wait a minute. Let's go through all of your circles of influence. Let's go through all the people, family, your school, alumni, the place you went to school. People end up with a list of 200 people. They thought they didn't know. Well, they do. So we're going to and it's not because you are going to go ask those people. That's not what we want you to do here. It's not about that. And we're not asking you for money. What we're asking for is, first, we're going to go through the first section of this. You're just going to brainstorm. No such thing as a bad idea. We're going to look at some of the individuals in this community who could make it here. Who could, whether it's $50 or $5,000. Okay. The other thing, obviously, somebody I'm sure in the community has looked at who gave money to the hospital wing, the emergency, right? I mean, that's what I do. When I raise a lot of money for the arts, I just look at all the programs, right? Oh, Alberta Ballet, Theatre Calgary, okay. Who are the people giving money? Because they're likely to, first thing, have the wherewithal. So we look for linkage, interest, and ability, right? Who's linked to who? What's their interest? If they have an interest in it, and of course, and their ability. So think about those kinds of concepts. So we're just gonna spend a bit of time where I'd like us to wrap up by around 8. Yes.
I think you should track down Bobby Clark for sure.
I think he's about my age. I think I'm old. Okay, so we're gonna look at individuals. We're gonna look at corporations. We're gonna look at organizations, different organizations, Rotary Club, fantastic, what a turnout. And the Kinsman and Kness, the Rotary Club, all of the organizations that they're based in community, right? So, they're already giving, so that's great. And then we're gonna, the events, like less around fundraising, but just ideas around how can we bring some people together for fund development, not necessarily for fundraising, just friend raising. Let's look at it as friend raising. What could you do where, as between the shovel going in the ground and when you open? Yeah. So that's the first piece that I'd like you to do. And you've got a list here on this paper of the different, and I know we didn't put naming on here. I didn't put it down on here because we're gonna be doing that piece. But if you think of a corporation that is a likely suspect for naming, put a little thing beside it that says naming, okay? We're gonna be looking at all of that when we put our campaign plan together. So let's do this for about, I'm gonna say probably 15 minutes, okay? And if we're wrapping up sooner, just say, okay, Michelle, we're done. But again, work together with, and these are concrete names. I don't want banks. Like you've got Scotia Bank, CIBC, Royal Bank, credit unions, and think through like, not just banks, but great, whatever group who did suppliers here. You've put a long list of names of suppliers. These are people who are benefiting from this pool. They should get that, right? New companies coming into town. Hud Bay, hopefully still will be wanting to contribute. So I'm gonna shut up now because you guys know way more about this than I do. So add it, break up anything you like, just figure it out. 15 minutes, we'll come back together and we'll then look at fundraising. Time, really important, give it time.
Does everybody know what in the charity heart legacy donation, Bobby Clark? My dream of years ago was always to do like a sweet video for that. Maybe we don't have to.
I heard that, Sarah.
Yeah, like a lot of people like that, like they do it quietly, they're in it for the cause, they're not in it for like the recognition, usually like individual.
Names, name drop. Corey Thompson.
Scott Davidson.
Scott Davidson.
I think,
Yeah.
I think anything.
Doctors and lawyers.
He doesn't make any.
What they're trying to hear, that much good for them.
a donation or naming potential, I think would be great. So, I still really think that like, when it comes to like individual fundraisers, but when you have things where people have to like, when you start to that season, this like packages. Yeah. People would like $2 per lap, like $5 per lap that people would do, like those kind of like.
Brian.
I know, everybody got there.
Yeah. Same state. Facility.
Yeah.
Not trash, but it's.
Hey, get over No, but actually.
Like from the communications coordinator, nonprofits, and funded agents are not allowed to donate monetary. It's a very place. For usage for the nursing program. It'll be last settings that have been like decommissioned or not able to be beneficial. Yeah, like I wouldn't hold equipment, they used to them, and it might have been like McKean's kind of a strongest, because even that is your dog. Dennis. Yeah, it's a different partnership.
So I guess for individuals.
No, yeah, it's like there's different sort of.
Right, because lots of individuals are gonna be like,
Yeah, probably all of those municipalities, those are like. Yeah. Thing about like when it comes to our health region. Would that be like? They will somehow the process this big, then you get the track.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like
So the fishing houses you're telling me about.
yeah, when you have to. Like, you almost have to think of like, so the RHA.
Okay.
How this market celebrate their.
Did we? Okay.
Meeting prior, they have.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
DJ.
Maybe like. I think we could do
Yeah.
So you have.
Okay, so I got the bank.
Yeah, you get contractors, you rent that.
Obviously, I don't. Balance that. But, so the vote for this. Yeah.
So are we including service costs or we're not including service?
Include everybody.
Okay, because I know the lines are here, but we never them approaching.
Yeah.
So lines.
I was just gonna ask, but if that's still going. What about like our construction line? Yeah, or even like.
We do the lines anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beach and falls.
Flip line.
The line is the road down back to us.
Even like, yeah. Yeah, just put ACAM chamber.
And, but they fund, which is about.
Yeah.
You know, like. It's fair.
Yeah. Most of us are good. To have organizations that speak and
Yeah, like I said, churches.
Who always had never seen this time there was. They use that, and they.
No, because there's.
They bring them live.
So many more chamber.
Yeah.
That'd be something that.
Under Canadian Tire, was to put jump start.
Like.
That's where you would tap into like them personally, right? Like with like when it comes to our individual fundraisers, like that's where you would need to,
Yeah.
you'd almost want to pay people to do it. RSVP in that, or to the positions to work in Snow Lake and our emergency department. And when you guys said that, right?
Yeah.
They would, having to see something like this, they're very slash connects. So it's about like, we do work as like person of all. Because the foundations who come to the north, they all are for donating, but a lot of times they don't know because they're not.
To get.
You know, it's gonna be like an easy way to do it. Like, bring it, you know, the
Partnership idea, or you get involved, matching.
and yeah, like it's mental office is a good one, like look at the professional labor, that's fair about this, but fair about this,
That's the. Just what, I don't know.
So the big donors though, they're like, these sorts of projects in the city, they look for the giants. Right? Like they look for those big families, we're sitting on a lot of the parents.
That's like Stacy's one that, like having discussions on that too. It's very important. It's been up and here, we're trying to. People want to come to. And they're usually good. So he's the one knows like he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's any key utilities?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not just hydros, government, it's like.
And I know, not as hard. Really responsible.
You know who one is?
Really?
Yeah. And like, Wi-Fi and all that stuff around here.
Call them up for Elon.
If you can think of any creative ways to get organizations involved, like matching or anything.
And anything that like I would have done years ago is a staff that you have that we don't have to reach in. Absolutely, we do the draw, and like it's so big now, we have like, like 1,700 to 2,000, right now, like the draw now is like take home 35 million. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's automatically comes off your paycheck, you don't even notice.
That'll be fundraising, and also that's good, but also think those out. Do this. Like, we have a sponsor, I don't know, using it.
What about insurance companies we have?
Well, that's your-
Relationship feel just like investment, yeah.
You gotta remember, this is just gonna be.
Like even.
No, I know, but it's a big deal.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a big, people say, and it.
So, yes, you know, it's not.
Community growth.
That's what you and me.
Supported everything. Did everything, then now it's gone. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know someone that says. Always.
And that's only to do the
supply.
Yeah.
It's Jen Hampton. Yeah, I see this from the way. There's nothing, it's a different spot for professional.
It's hard. Like, 'cause everything up here, like, you know, how many years ago, like, there was still steam set in.
Yes.
That's.
She heard that.
She married the water.
Yeah, she's a farmer.
It's nature right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, it's nature.
There's one thing too, and there's also like what I've seen where you look at the health, but there are also people that don't like them, so like that they work, have that conversation, that we come there to an like that, there's no clearance.
Yeah, that might be fun.
Also, that I know those members of the using.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't.
You want March.
Just like contrast, we still have that homecoming Facebook page. Then we just gonna.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Like off of like the, yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, but.
Partnership there.
So I could even like.
And that's one of the big.
Like, but I just started playing it, you know, like.
It might not be so much.
Well, our expectation was that for the roller good when we were gonna have.
Yes, and then, so for next summer, I would hope when that we were back, roller good one, because roller is gonna bring.
So that's 2024 is roller
Yeah,
good with
right,
next.
yeah, because we didn't have it this year, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that it was. Yeah. That was the.
I know, my dad's like.
What about Trevor Pot? Like on our national players?
Yeah. Okay, the roller good was.
Okay, so a few more minutes on this and then we'll go to the next section, okay?
An opportunity,
You guys done? You guys done?
That's mine, to the beach down to really wants to have a treasure. So we just take a percentage of her.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's.
From the cash that they.
Yeah, like that's not.
But you know, like they were, the trick there, the kids, some of them that fundraising thing.
Yeah.
Well, right away, very nice.
But I wanted to make
They
it
could
like
like
the, they like the.
Yeah.
People will purchase from.
And yeah, it's tricky and they are donating a lot of money from the library and some of them very good. About beer garden, so that's how we get through
Maybe library wise, this was a better option.
Yeah, like we're doing this weekend, become bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
Big tie on somehow.
There's one more minute.
So we should- our best.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like.
Cause he's got something like that.
Yeah, like this part, you really need to have like a beer box, but you don't want to. Mine could be some that style. Yeah.
Even something like. There's like this to something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, we. Yeah, does not. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're actually like a boy or something, matching contribution. Yeah, I think that's a good.
No, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Just that take the bills.
They couldn't run.
It's just a try to. I'm gonna eat it.
Shall we clear to them?
$10 on your.
Like I paid my.
Well, but they were all the like.
Yeah. You should go back.
Yeah, like the option, you know, we didn't have, or like, like, around up. To liability, it's like, and having open water without water running. So they had to take those calls.
Yes, that's.
Okay, everybody, I'm already hearing some great ideas, you're already starting to think creatively over here, there's some thinking going around how to look at fundraising with fund development. We're gonna, wow. Yay, all right, so fundraising now. Now we're gonna take a picture or whatever you're gonna do with what you've already got, and then we're gonna take 10 minutes and we're gonna look at your ideas for fight.
If you guys don't have your production, let's come like.
Yes, it can be, but think also, maybe you do a partnership with the hospital. Right? I mean, they're doing the rehab, maybe you do a partnership with the Blues Fest. think through also, like, how do you develop more friends in the community without them thinking, because what's gonna happen is some children are gonna think, oh my God, here they go. And you want people to think you're competing with them. That was really a part of the community. And again, not competitors, but you're building community. So take 10 minutes now to think about fundraisers, and maybe put that slide back up, Julie, the fundraisers slide that had all the examples of the different kinds of things you can do. And I know you're looking at, you've already thinking, you've heard some that are gonna come back that you've done. So let's take 10 minutes for that, and then we'll regroup around the table.
Okay. We had some ideas that have already how they planned, which were like, no, there's already rice, but this is long term. We're not streaming industry. Stuff else to run
Deeply want to get it there.
Activities with residents, potentially going through a map to be expensive.
Thank you, Julie.
Because there's a wheelchair ramp, and because the building should be built to accessibility standards now.
Like there's one of the ladies that I picked up a couple.
And I don't know if it's like, I'm sure they do it for places, but
like running.
if the rehab and physiotherapist wanted to run that too. Would love to be taught.
Yeah.
And if the facility needs to stand right because I that the programming, then they could come down. And something one is then, like Monday was school, Monday streets are already.
And we talked, actually, it was on the list, like, buddy, it was gonna be for the festival, and it just never kind of got off.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that works, because I know that there was a thing that would be depending on.
It was on the first trails at the golf course, and then what you got.
Right. I wonder.
And you got a thing of draft beer at the.
So we're talking about fundraising.
Yeah.
So, and then you can buy the talks you have. Then you have to pay them. So they do the thing is
You were involved in something. and you got
volunteers to go. With the kids and then seeing the same. Something online together. Fundraising starts really major. So we have done one from. Yeah, everybody knows.
Oh, yeah, we did it for motion.
Yeah.
We're doing it again. I culture days.
Like to me,
In it,
doing
like, as a
fundraising
teacher, and then it'll be at culture days. I would have paid for.
buzz too, at the same time, like make it sound fun, but
Right, like if I could.
the fundraiser.
It was like for like, is like, and it was on the screen for the I, when I got out on it, I read the two of us.
Yeah, well, that's not.
There's no, I don't know.
Jobs, I mean, they're interviewing.
Like I was on the Robert
And
Munch
like
book.
the. The city has the facility.
Amazing. So it was
Operations put the boomer bash on and then was supposed to be donated. Oh, I thought it was like, yeah, I thought that your name was on that.
Because you were like, right now, like, that's.
There was a lot of. Ladies
I was
that
curious,
was
specifically,
listening.
it was like, and I was like, I thought it was nice. I was like, like,
Anytime you're in a business, that means
No, but I had to.
you're maybe like snaps, you know, like. And we have to do to make it work. When you're.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
What if those ladies?
the Rotary was donating to.
that's what I used to do, everything. Right, so I used to do the board shot, or be properly, so he was shot.
Really?
It's like, that's like, oh, yeah, it's memes, they protected their tent.
Yeah.
Team outfit and
Yeah.
their costumes are, yeah.
It's a neat idea that you. What if my baby?
Yeah. But it doesn't have to be, these one persons that doesn't have to be.
No, this is. Back. Before I was done, you guys had 4 in a row. So. Yeah, sometimes it's easier to get. Yeah, and I know, I know that that's a different. And then it takes. That's.
And like you want, like, yeah. Like a health region perspective, and like the longer talk and like the amount of resources that you need for like reps and website, like something updated. That's like the, again, you know, like, and you need and like the time.
Yeah, like it's just a jump in part.
When it comes to like, I don't think there's.
Yeah.
And it's great, but I think we still need to tap into some of these. Yeah, great. Teams. That's so like, together. Like I would like to stay up and see that that's the group they have. So by change, basically. They're like the company property to them. And then we have work. They just have like our payroll system, pays for deductions. We pay commission to funding change every day.
People go around, right? Yeah, but you said, yeah, something like that.
Just.
It was just, I don't know. Most of them was their party. Yeah. Tracy Salad. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The birthday. Oh, yeah, the birthday challenge. That was, it was all Monday. I never did, I went and watched. No, I did, and then the community blog for memories. I did. I was really brutal, and I don't think it's just as we're by baby. Because it was.
But anyway, I remember it's Christmas time, I saw this all again, for buying shop.
But again, most of the places.
So they're really good at sending in subject, the morning of the site volunteering on top of it, myself.
And all.
Things like that. Again, go in and.
We did work out for us. Cells and,
Tapping in on like.
That's where the avenue, like the walk thing, right? Like you did like and these kids are not going on stuff in, like not just setting every hour, but it's about, you know.
So that's a good idea.
And do something fun for that hour. And you know, have sales stuff, okay, that's. Yeah, just make it. Insider count. Yeah. When they go to pick up their own lunch.
Businesses, the supply.
Committee is really set up as a charitable organization, not a charitable registered member. So they're not a CRA.
Yeah.
And then you can pick presents, usually that challenge, charity challenge, other organizations. Okay. So
Yeah, really. And then just like how much members drum up or whatever, and then having that on the town media and adding it to your blog. You know, oh, I'm gonna challenge all the teachers, and then the teachers are gonna put together, you know, package like fundraise this way. You know, our staff party is gonna be, you know, it's a great fundraise. Yeah, exactly. That's
Right? Amazing. I had to ask him, your feet crossed. I was so over that. We just have to meet drugs and we give away boots. Right? The money, moose run and meat drugs. The moose boots. And I'm sorry. What
donation opportunity?
So don't even want to go moose like a guy.
One more minute.
That should be that one kind of.
But yeah, the city should be the city.
Some don't get them back.
Yeah, some don't keep them.
No.
Yeah.
Really,
Freezer.
There are some time hard fans, like, I will give you 50 bucks or you'll get printed.
Well, I think maybe.
Oh, I was. No, no, every time, like,
Or.
it's like that. Farmers don't wanna give up any of it, that's fundraising. And so it's like these partnerships, they don't have to come out and like, you know, we're gonna bring two people into the race. Full of people, so we can volunteer. Not fundraising. Like,
I understand that.
This goes back to their fiscal.
yes, but there is no.
Okay, everyone, are we wrapped up? Are we out of my sit? Every no not lost ideas.
Don't do this.
Yes, exactly. And that's why you have to do something friendly.
Okay.
Kind of like. We want to get to like.
Okay, everyone, what we'll do now is we're not gonna go through all of your names of all the organizations and individuals and corporations. But we would like to hear some of these fun ideas that you've had for fundraisers. Or if you did have ideas with corporations that are kind of creative, share those. We don't need the names of everybody. So why don't we start with, we'll go 2, 1, 3, okay?
And can someone in your group that has a cell phone take a picture of your notes?
Always, always, always. Okay, we have to have all the notes. Okay, group 2, just come back. What great ideas did you have over there?
We talked about, like businesses or the city doing big 50-50 draws. And I used the example of the RHA does a staff, 50-50, so every payday. And you just sign up for your payroll, it's auto deducted, I don't even remember it happening, I don't even know how much I'm donating every payday, but, there's.
I am too.
A big.
I also remember
There's
that.
a
I was there, yep.
Like 50-50 draws, every 2 weeks, somebody goes on with like $3,500 just by doing that, and all proceeds go to the Northern Health Foundation. So if we approach companies like Hud Bay, hey, would you be interested in doing this once, twice, maybe quarterly, just for your next fiscal year with your employees? Somebody has to take home money, they could wrap it into their incentive to come to work, I don't know, and then, they would have to donate the other half to us. So some sort of partnership like that. I have like fundraisers that I'd always like to do, like, you know, I would go personally ask a bunch of people I know, would you be willing to pledge $5 for every 1 minute I could tread water in Ross Lake? You
need more than $5. So touch the bottom. So writing some buttons. Yeah.
There's a dog there now.
I'll start that with.
When I was down, the boy at the time, when I was down there, I told the committee this, they called it a toonie something or other. But they sold packages at Christmas time, so if I wanted to buy for Sarah for Christmas, a package from January to June to participate, it was a certain chunk of money. Or you could buy it every time online and stuff, but it was an excitement, like, you gotta do stuff that builds excitement in the community also. So every week there would be this draw, or it'd be carried over, it'd be something like a Chase the Ace or something like that, but I feel that the online donating is such a big thing right now, it's just to access.
Massive donate buttons.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Good over there? Okay, group 3. Oh, they're still adding over there.
Yeah.
I thought you said group 2, group 1, then group 3.
Okay,
We have the Muddy Moose Mud Run and Meat Draw where you win moose meat. Who wouldn't run through the mud to win a moose? I think everybody. The polar bear fun, what else do we have back here? The murder mystery, the Spartan run, the mud. Play, day all night pledge and kids fundraise, and you have pancake breakfast and arts and fitness people, sort of like a overnight relay. Yeah, walkathons. Thank you, thanks. Paying $50 to throw the moose flag, that was great.
For a chance to.
For a chance.
Like if you like, put your name in your draw, I know it's a big deal, right? To get children to play.
Someone's gonna have to explain that.
At the Bomber game, when they win, they.
You get to throw a moose leg?
No, there's one guy that throws a moose leg onto the ice.
So either you can round up on your like garbage water, something like that, because it would be a continuous one, or even, the allowance to put like whatever dollar amount you want, $2, $5, $10, $25, every time you pay taxes.
And if you do that, you're entered into a draw.
Yeah, anything, yeah.
Yes. Cool.
So they were saying it's so easy because if all you had to do was select like round up, you're already paying your. You're not anything extra, you're not leaving, most people are paying via e-transfer and stuff right now anyways, and.
Good, great ideas. Okay, how about group 3?
So we said, getting with the rehab department to work on some stuff. Diabetes Association, the Blueberry Jam, doing a cover charge, we already know that they won't, but the thought. Air show, Monster Bingo, whether it's digital, radio, or in person, Chase the Ace, poker / casino night, sportsman dinner, trout festival, doing a partnership with them. 50/50, like a monster 50/50, or a run for like what we used to do, run for the cure, and go fund meetings.
Right. Okay, super. We've got a lot to think about. So let's get everybody back around the table because we're going to wrap up here, which is great. And the days are longer here.
They are, yeah, it's not dark out yet. This is early.
It is early, yes.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, no, we're getting late into the season now. This is getting dark
late early here now.
Oh, it's getting late early.
It doesn't
Okay.
really get dark, really.
This is late in the season. Weekend. Everyone says that, July, long. Final looks at midnight.
So do you have like you could tee off at midnight or no?
No.
You're not like all the way through the night?
No, but you could tee off at 11, probably, or 10:45.
Yeah.
Driving.
Not the way up.
Okay, so we just wanted to make sure that everyone kind of understands what the next steps are. I think our engagement with you is for 4 months, October?
Yep.
And then I think there might be additional help later, yeah. Because there is a fund development committee, which is excellent. You've got a campaign committee already. And so we're going to be working, and if we need to do further interviews with anybody, I hope that you would be available to just take a call from us. And I know that Kate is thinking through some strategies with others around how to ensure that we get input from the Indigenous communities and maybe other groups that just weren't here tonight. So we want to make sure that we're hearing from everyone. So if any additional stakeholder engagement has to take place, we'll be doing that. And then Pat and the team will be working on the plan. Julie will be working on the case, a compelling, emotive case. We've got lots of ideas and stories, so Julie may be reaching out to some people to, for further information. One thing I thought, well, okay, any questions about this process from anybody?
When you're done the 4 months, what are you going to give to this group? What's the deliverables? Yes, at the end of 4 months.
A campaign plan with, different ideas that we think are your best ideas, you know, or it's a map. It's more than, it's actually, a campaign plan is more than a framework. We're going to give you some concrete ideas on, you know, the kinds of things that you're gonna need to do. And also some structure for the committee. How can the committee move forward, right? And how do you know, everything from, donor agreements, naming agreements, where you're gonna get a lot of paper that you'll be able to use, as well as strategies, just some strategies and how your committee is gonna work for the next 2 years to reach your target, which is an ambitious 2 million, but well, over 2 years, you know, everybody's gonna do their best. Pat, anything you want to comment on what the fund development plan, the campaign plans can look like?
Well, yeah, I think, Michelle, you've covered it. What we really do, kind of at the front end of it is, give recommendations for, you know, what is the best structure and for success, for you guys, right? And, you know, what the committee, looks like, potentially how many volunteers you have. I know you already have people on the committee. Do you need some more? Or, you know, or people that are in different professions in the community, like, you know, as an example, is there a lawyer on the fundraising committee who can then talk to his or her peers in the community, and in the surrounding area about the opportunities, you know, to participate in the campaign? It's that kind of thing. That's kind of the front end of the plan. And then, as Michelle said, then we actually get straight into some, the amount of money to raise, you know, how many prospects do you need? There's some research. The steering committee, you've already met Mo. She does donor research and an environmental scan as well. That's part of the campaign. And then also, we've seen the naming documents for the facility that you already have. And Vincent, who, as Michelle said, is actually a national expert on naming, he's going to review all of that. And so again, that will be part of it, right? So if naming the whole facility, you know, the price would be X, well, then, you know, who do you need to talk to about that opportunity, that kind of thing. And then as well, Julie will also, and myself, will also be giving some campaign communications strategies, some ideas, you know, and how to move forward with that. So that's kind of the overview.
As well as a donor, like a matrix, right? And
right.
recognition, right? So if you were to give 50,000, what might that look like? So all of those kinds of things that work for this community. It has to work for this community.
It's all documentation that anybody that had come to the fundraising committee meetings or has been involved in or talked to anybody, it's all documents that we had been trying to work on, and that over the last so many years, we've been trying to get through. But it's stuff that if you don't have the knowledge or background information on how to do, you can't just throw it together. And I think that that's a point where some of the frustration may have come in with the fundraising committee, that you're right, you're trying to do a job that is somebody's job, off the corner of your desk or in the evenings or on the weekends and in your free time. And we weren't making any movement towards that. And that's why we reached out to Michelle and the team and said, you know, we're at a point where we really want to do this. We just don't know how. We don't know how to move forward with it in a professional manner. And we want to be able to approach everyone from our individual friends and families to kind of the big hitter organizations in the area and the companies in the industry and say, you know, here's something that we have and
this is what we're offering you and this is why we want you to partner with us.
Yeah, and you've got a CRM.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna be making sure that that is as efficient and effective as possible, that you're tracking all of you're gonna have a whole long list of who you're gonna approach, who's approaching them. Where are you at with each one? I mean, these are all just, I call it the nuts and bolts of a campaign. So you'll have a strategy and then what we call the nuts and bolts as well. So I wanted to close by asking everyone here, we're just gonna go around again, we'll go backwards this time. Some of you have already made a commitment and, you can say, not ready yet, but maybe what are you prepared to do for this important initiative? And it can be everything from I'll keep coming to meetings, or I'm happy to be an advisor, or, to whatever it is that you think that you want to do over the next couple of years. So you're gonna co-chair
I'm gonna keep co-chairing the committee. Gonna keep going. No choice. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited that we're at the point where we can actually say that we're gonna start putting cement in the ground and that all these things are really jumping off the ground, and I'm happy to do it. I'm so excited. Keep going.
I'll come to meetings too. But no, I like for the fundraising opportunities, like absolutely, I will like come to most of them that fit me and my family and I would promote them. And I totally would